The turkey looked almost too perfect, glowing under the warm lights as if it belonged on the glossy cover of a holiday magazine. It sat centered on my sister's long dining table like a showpiece. The skin was golden and crisp, the kind of thing people photograph before anyone is allowed to cut into it. The rest of the room carried that same curated shine. Autumn colors everywhere. Carefully placed pumpkins, artful garlands, tiny decorative details that were clearly expensive and intentionally coordinated. Every place setting had porcelain plates rimmed with gold, crystal wine glasses that sent flecks of light across the table, and thick napkins embroidered with delicate leaves. Nothing looked accidental. Everything matched. Everything silently announced one thing: money. And I knew by simply scanning the room that the decorations alone cost more than the bulk of what sits in my kitchen in an average month. At least that was the image everyone liked to paint of me, someone always scraping by. I arrived right at noon. My 2 kids were beside me, vibrating with quiet excitement. Sophie, 7, practically danced toward the door, talking nonstop about pumpkin pie. Michael, 9, kept peeking into the grocery bags to make sure the bakery pie I'd bought hadn't vanished. They were excited to see their cousins, to finally experience a Thanksgiving like the ones in the movies, big, loud, warm, full of family. Before we walked in, I'd crouched down and reminded them to use their best manners. Please and thank you, calm voices waiting their turn before taking seconds. I even reminded them about elbows off the table, though they usually remembered that on their own. Lauren's house, well, her world was everything mine wasn't. A spotless 4-bedroom suburban home, trimmed hedges, a lawn so perfect it looked vacuumed, and 2 shining cars in the driveway like display pieces. Her husband worked in sales, made enough money to coast comfortably, and swapped out his BMW every 3 years like clockwork. Their kids, now teenagers, stood taller and carried that particular confidence of children who have only ever needed to ask in order to receive. Inside, every room looked like something you'd find in a home decor spread. Coordinated furniture sets, tasteful artwork, fresh flowers that seemed too flawless to be real. Anyone walking in would think their life was smooth, privileged, effortless. No one would ever guess that I had been secretly covering their mortgage for 5 years. But that truth belonged to another moment. Right then, dinner was just beginning. Lauren's husband started carving the turkey with big showy motions. His mother praised the sweet potatoes like they were museum pieces. My kids sat small and polite, remembering every instruction. I set down the bakery pie, store-bought, the only thing I had time to manage with work, and Lauren made sure to announce to the room that everything else on the table was homemade, crafted entirely by her. Must be nice to have that kind of time, I said with a pleasant smile that hid what I actually meant. Well, some of us make family traditions a priority, she replied. I let it pass. I always did. Conversation at the table flowed easily enough at first. Her husband talked about the promotion he was expecting. Her son shared college plans. Her daughter excitedly listed the cars she was deciding between for her 16th birthday. Their hopes filled the room. Big hopes, costly hopes, almost crowding out the air. 13-year-old Tyler was handing out dessert plates when he suddenly cleared his throat and announced, loud enough for the whole table to hear, Mom says Aunt Julie is just a family burden. We only invite her because she has nowhere else to go. The room froze. 2 seconds of absolute stillness, long enough to feel like a minute. Then, almost in unison, laughter erupted. Lauren pretended to look embarrassed, but she couldn't hide the grin tugging at her mouth. Her husband slapped the table, roaring. Her mother-in-law nodded approvingly, like she'd suspected it all along. Even Lauren's teenage daughter covered her mouth to stifle a giggle. Tyler, Lauren said lightly, trying to sound like she was scolding him, though she was still smiling. You weren't supposed to say that out loud. But it's true, right? He pushed. You said she can't even afford a real house. That's why she rents that tiny apartment. More laughter. I looked at my kids. Sophie's eyes shone with tears, her bottom lip trembling. Michael's jaw was clenched tight, his cheeks burning red, his small hands twisting the napkin in his lap. They were old enough to understand their mother was being mocked, labeled poor, unwanted, lesser. I stood slowly, calmly, placing my napkin beside my half-eaten pie. Sophie, Michael, get your coats. Oh, come on, Lauren said, her smile faltering. It was just a joke. Don't be so sensitive. We're leaving. You're overreacting, she snapped. Tyler didn't mean anything. Kids say things. I slipped Sophie into her jacket. Michael pulled his on quietly, his hand still trembling. Thank you for having us, I said. Happy Thanksgiving. Lauren's husband called, half laughing. Don't leave like this. It's a holiday. But I walked out with my children and shut the door behind us with a soft, final click. In the car, Sophie cried quietly. Michael stared out the window, stiff and silent. I drove them to our favorite diner and ordered pancakes for dinner, because what mattered was being together with people who respected us. Are we really a burden? Sophie whispered. No, baby, I said. We're not. Are we poor? We have everything we need and we're happy. That's what matters. Michael didn't say anything, but I saw his little hands relax. When we got home, I made hot chocolate and we curled up under blankets to watch a movie. Around 9, my phone buzzed. A text from Lauren. Send the mortgage help now. Payment is due tomorrow. I stared at the message, feeling everything inside me go still. For 5 years, I'd sent her $3,000 every month. It began as a temporary loan when she and her husband fell behind. Then it became expected. Then it became invisible. I typed back. Absolutely not. The typing dots appeared, vanished, appeared again. What do you mean no? You always send it. Not anymore. Julie, don't be petty. Tyler said something dumb. He's 13. Get over it. I didn't reply. The phone rang over and over. I turned it off and went to bed. The next morning, I woke to 17 missed calls and a dozen messages. Lauren begging, her husband scolding, her mother-in-law lecturing, Lauren again insisting she was sorry. A forced apology from Tyler, obviously typed by someone else. I deleted every message and opened my laptop. 5 years ago, Lauren had called me sobbing, desperate. They were behind on the mortgage, had already missed 2 payments, the bank was threatening them. They might lose the house. Could I help just for a few months? I wasn't rich, just careful. A senior accountant with a stable job. I lived small, saved diligently, invested wisely. I drove an old car. My apartment was tiny but paid for. My kids had everything they needed. I helped because I could. But it had cost me $3,000 a month for 60 months. $180,000. Gone. Money that could have gone to my children's future, while she spent freely, kept up her perfect-looking life, and let people laugh at me across her table. I opened my banking app and canceled the automatic payment permanently. Then I called my lawyer, Ellen. I need you to prepare a demand letter for repayment. By 10. My phone rang again. A number I didn't recognize. This is Patricia Chin from First National Bank Mortgage Services. I'm calling about the property at 847 Maple Ridge Drive. Our records show you've been making the payments for 5 years. Will you continue? No. I've canceled the transfer. There will be no more payments. Silence. Typing. Papers shuffling. I see. So the payment due today will not be made by you. Correct. Without this payment, the account enters default. The homeowners will receive a formal notice in 3 business days. I understand. And you're certain you want to cancel all future payments? Absolutely certain. She acknowledged the update, and we disconnected. Around noon, someone began pounding on my door, loud, frantic. Through the peephole, I saw Lauren. Red-faced, blotchy, hair wild, wearing pajama pants under her coat. I didn't open the door. Julie, please, she begged. Open up. The bank called. They told me the payment hadn't gone through. They told me the loan was now in default. They told me foreclosure would begin in 30 days. Then came the pounding at my door. Open up. We need to talk about this. Go home, Lauren, I said. You can't show up here like this. If you walk away now, we're going to lose everything, the house, our equity, everything we've built. The kids will have to leave their school. Do you understand the damage you're doing? You should have thought about all that before you called me a burden in front of my children. I didn't say that, she protested. Tyler misunderstood. He's a kid. He repeated your words. And you laughed. All of you laughed. In that beautiful house, your big perfect house that I've been paying for. It was a joke. People say stupid things at family dinners. You're really going to blow up our lives over a joke. I stepped away from the door. She kept knocking for 5 long minutes before finally leaving. That afternoon my phone rang again. This time it was her husband on speakerphone. while I was helping Sophie with a puzzle. Julie, can we please talk about this like adults? There's nothing to discuss. Look, I know Lauren can be careless with her words, but you're going to tear our whole family apart over one comment? I'm not tearing anything apart. I'm just no longer paying your mortgage. We can't afford the house without you. Then you bought a house you couldn't afford. We have kids, Julie. What are they supposed to do? You and Lauren both work. Figure it out like everyone else does. You don't get it, we have expenses. Activities, car payments, the cost of maintaining. The lifestyle you've been financing with my money while calling me a burden. I understand perfectly. What do you want? An apology? Fine, we're sorry. We're all very sorry. I don't want an apology. I want you to leave me alone. I hung up. Over the next few days, the pressure campaign continued. Lauren's mother-in-law called, lecturing me about family duty. Lauren's daughter called crying because she might have to switch schools. Her son called, furious and demanding. I blocked all their numbers. On the 5th day, a certified letter arrived. I signed for it at my kitchen table. It was from First National Bank, addressed to Lauren, but delivered to me because I'd been the one making the payments. A copy of the official notice. The mortgage was delinquent. 30 days to catch up or they'd start foreclosure. I placed it neatly in my folder, alongside every bank statement showing each payment I'd made for 5 full years. Then my lawyer called. I sent a letter to Lauren, he said. She has 30 days to propose a repayment plan for the $180,000 you loaned her. She won't pay it. Probably not. But now there's documentation. And if she keeps harassing you, we can take further action. Thank you, Alan. 2 weeks later, Lauren showed up at my office. Security called me before letting her through. I told them to turn her away. That night she appeared at my apartment, this time with her husband. Julie, please, he begged through the door. We're desperate. The bank has started the foreclosure process. We have 60 days to move. The kids are devastated. You both have jobs, I said. Find a place you can afford. Nothing's open in their school district. They'll have to switch schools. My kids go to public school in our district. They're fine. It's not the same. Our kids are used to a certain lifestyle. A lifestyle I paid for. I cut in. While you called me a burden. It was one mistake. One stupid moment. Are you really this heartless? I'm not heartless. I'm just not your personal bank anymore. They left. A day later, Lauren's mother-in-law tried one last time. She called from a number I didn't recognize and immediately launched into shaming me. You're being selfish, she said. Family is family. You're ruining children's lives over pride. Did Lauren tell you she's been taking $3,000 from me every month for the last 5 years? I asked. Silence. That's $180,000. Ask your son where the mortgage money has been coming from. She hung up. Last week, I saw on social media that Lauren's house sold. Not a foreclosure, they managed to offload it quickly. They're renting now. A 3-bedroom townhouse in another school district. Her daughter posted a rant about having to share a room. Her son complained about the tiny yard. Lauren sent me one final text. I hope you're happy. I sat with it for a moment, and the truth rose easily. Yes, I am. I'm happy my kids know I will always protect them. Happy that I won't accept being humiliated, not even by family. Happy that I am no longer paying for someone else's illusion, while being mocked for my own choices. Happy to have 180,000 fewer reasons to sit through Thanksgiving at my sister's house. This year my kids and I are volunteering at a food bank on Thanksgiving. Then we're coming home to turkey sandwiches and movies. We'll be in our small, fully paid-off apartment, with our old reliable car outside. And we won't be anyone's burden.